can hear children laughing. I hear a woman, and it's an older woman. She's telling me that she's stuck.
She's in the desert. She's in the desert.
There's something wrong with this whole picture. She wants me to know that she was never here. It just doesn't feel right. And it's lies and deceit and deceit and deceit.
These are the true stories of real cases and the psychics who help investigators solve their most baffling mysteries. Tucson, Arizona.
911 recorded line, what is your emergency?
I'd like to report a missing person.
Okay, sir, where's the location of your emergency?
I'm at the mall in Tucson.
We have units responding.
Police reply to the call. Taw Benderly tells police that he and his longtime companion, 69-year-old Loretta Bowersock, had come to town on a short vacation.
He stated that he had dropped off his wife at a Dillard's department store where she was going to do some shopping. The arrangement was that he was going to come back and pick her up within 2 hours.
But Loretta never showed. Taw contacts Loretta's daughter, Terry.
When he first called me on the phone, he certainly had that panic sound. You know, I dropped your mother off and she's not here, and you know that's not like her.
Police scour the bustling mall for any sign of the missing woman.
After conducting a pretty thorough search, we did not locate Loretta Bowersock.
Here's a woman from Tempe that comes down to Tucson, unfamiliar with her surroundings. With the elderly people, you have Alzheimer's and other medical conditions that make them either become confused or are just lost for that matter.
I think lost was scary because, you know, you think of your mom just wandering around, but my mother's not the type to get lost.
Loretta was a very successful woman, and from all indications, did not suffer from any illness. She was in good health, and there was no reason that she would disappear on her own.
Investigators now have to consider the possibility that Loretta was taken against her will. The 69-year-old is known throughout Arizona for the popular furniture business that she and her daughter Terry run.
Thanks to you and Mom, Terry's consignment furniture has expanded again.
Benderly is convinced she was targeted. With a potential abduction on their hands, police turn up the heat.
We used every resource at our disposal to search for Miss Bowersock. We called in a canine unit to search for her, and also by helicopter. The entire shopping mall was searched from one end to the other. Hospitals were contacted.
You know, every minute mattered to me about finding her. Is she hurt? Is something happening? Let's go, let's go, let's go.
And we were basically coming up with nothing.
Police study the store's security tapes. If someone did abduct Loretta, the cameras might have caught them. What they see only adds to the mystery.
We viewed the video, the surveillance video in the store, and Ms. Bowersock was not in any of the video. Ms. Bowersock was not in the store at all. Was this person kidnapped? Was this person go on their own? Did they want to disappear? Did they want to stage their own disappearance? Is there somebody that may want to harm them? Or is there a reason or motive for this person to disappear on their own?
Law enforcement throughout the state is on the lookout for the missing woman. Her face is all over the news, but still, no new clues surface. Unable to bear the thought of her mother in potential danger, Terry takes matters into her own hands. She contacts a psychic.
Hello. My name is Miriam Morgan, and I'm a medium, clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairescent. I see all the events happening in space and time, and what happens is they sort of manifest themselves in front of me.
All right.
It's like a moving picture, and I just pull pieces of that picture out and explain it to the detectives or the families, and all that information is used to help solve the case. You have to be a team. You have to take information that the detectives give you and also families, what families say, and I just hear it, I see it, I smell it, I feel it.
You know, we're not sure whether she's missing or she's kidnapped.
Marianne tries to connect to the missing woman.
And immediately, she's showing me a house. It's Loretta's house. And it's lies and deceit and deceit. I can just feel it. It's an absolute lie.
Can the psychic lead detectives to the truth when we return? Just days after Loretta Bowersock was reported missing from a Tucson department store, psychic Marianne Morgan joins the search and believes she can help.
Okay, Terry. I see that your mother... What in the world? I'm seeing papers. She doesn't understand what these papers are, and then she sees these are foreclosure papers. What is going on? She's just, her breath is taken away. I see that your mother's house is in foreclosure and that there's a second mortgage on the house.
It could be in foreclosure. My mother's house was the most important thing to her. She would not let that go.
And Terry couldn't believe it. She was like, no, my mother's house isn't in foreclosure.
Desperate for answers, Terry reports the psychic's impressions to the police.
Terry Bowersock summoned the services of a psychic, Marianne Morgan,
Mother's house is in
who provided some information. I was skeptical because I had never used the services of a psychic in any of our investigations up to this point. However, we were willing to try anything in locating Miss Bowersock. We began to look into a financial background on Loretta and Todd Enderle. From that moment, we began to find that there was a lot of financial irregularities in their various accounts. It then began to paint a picture about what was going on as far as their finances go.
It's just as the psychic had predicted.
I began to believe that the information she had could be helpful in this investigation.
So immediately we began to look into the house aspect as to why this house is in foreclosure. But we also look into maybe this entire incident evolved around money.
Desperate to find Loretta, police hope Marianne can pick up the trail at the place where the missing woman was last seen. Todd Enderle told police that he last saw Loretta at the mall around 2 p.m. Marianne tries to pick up Loretta's psychic trail, but something's not right.
This is the area that we searched using canine and helicopter, as well as a lot of bicycle officers and officers on foot.
Detective Pacheco, what I'm getting is that there was a fight, and I'm hearing arguing. There's something wrong with this whole picture. She hasn't been here. It just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't add up to anything that anybody's been told about this situation. Everything is a lie. She wants me to know she was never at this place, and it's lies and deceit and deceit. And I can just feel it. I know she wasn't here. I mean, this is an absolute lie. Detective, she was not here.
Your impressions are interesting in respect that I agree that something happened to Loretta, but whatever happened to her did not occur here.
Everything that Todd Enderle had told him was a lie. She was never even in Tucson. She never made it that far.
Police check the surveillance tapes again and notice something odd.
The statement that Mr. Enderle had provided of how he had searched the department store on various floors was not consistent with what we were seeing in the video. From the moment he walks through the door, the video showed him going straight to customer service as opposed to looking around.
Digging deeper into the couple's financial records, police learn that Benderly is responsible for Loretta's debt.
We began to develop a clearer picture of who Mr. Benderly really was. It all started coming together.
Investigators now suspect that Taw Benderly could be responsible for Loretta's disappearance and possibly a murder.
After looking at everything, we decided to ask Mr. Benderly to come down to the main police station and get a formal statement accounting for every minute of his time to see if we could determine what exactly had happened to Miss Bowersock.
But if Benderly knows something, he isn't talking.
Has totally been uncooperative with Tempe Police Department. Uncooperative to the nth degree, would not even give any statements, or any of the statements he did give were so vague.
Desperate for any hard evidence, crime scene investigators scour the couple's van and home for clues, but they can't find anything to prove that Taw harmed Loretta. And without proof of a crime, they're forced to let him go. Once again, investigators turn to the psychic to help move the case forward.
Unfortunately, we don't have sufficient evidence at this point to arrest Taw Benderly for anything.
And I guess one of the first things that I wanted you to know was that I see Taw Benderly in prison. Hates being confined. He's been in prison before, in another state. In my vision, I see that he has these stripes on, so that means to me he's been in prison.
It's an interesting impression that you're getting. It may indicate that there's something in his background. A background check of Mr. Benderly revealed that he, in fact, had been incarcerated in the past. This information was not released or known by anyone.
And I guess one of the other impressions, and I don't know what to do with it quite yet, is that I see Taw going into the sunset. He just wants to make sure that no one confines him again. Desperate to get away. A sunset to me means, with what I feel about his background, that he's going to be going off into the sunset. He's going to be fleeing.
Is the psychic reading Benderly's mind? When we return. A woman is missing, and psychic Marianne Morgan has had a disturbing vision.
And I had a vision of this the other day, but I have it again right now. If he flees, then everything that is known to him about Loretta and where she's located or what happened to her is gone. Taw's just walking into the sunset, and he's feeling so lost. He's going to be fleeing. He's going to try to kill himself. But I feel like he could cause harm to himself.
The only person that could possibly tell us where Loretta Bowersock is would be lost.
I felt at that point, symbolically, that the vision that I had meant that he was going to be killing himself. He was going to commit suicide.
Police quickly head to the house and find the psychic is right.
Benderly's body was found in the garage of the couple's Tempe home. Cops say he had hanged himself.
Marianne's prophecy has come true. It's a devastating blow to the investigation.
The only person that knew about Loretta Bowersock's disappearance was Taw Benderly. And since his self-demise, we were at wit's end. We had nothing else to go on.
The case has reached a dead end, but Terry won't give up.